As you see in our previous documentaries with Prince and Earth, Wind and Fire, we have uncovered how they have hidden messages to deceive the masses. Many musicians and groups have sold their souls for fame and riches in order to be used as Satan's musical prophets. Satan has employed many artists and groups to send messages to millions of people and cause them to commit a great sin in worshiping false gods and professing wicked lyrics. The scripture says in Romans 10:10 that with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Now if the scripture say this, then it is fair to say that with the mouth confession is made unto damnation also. These artists and groups perform these songs, but the true author and creator of these songs is none other than Satan himself. One such group is Parliament Funkadelic. This group has totally captivated the African American community with their songs, and they do not realize what is hidden in the lyrics of their songs. Before we go there, let's look at their history. Parliament Funkadelic, abbreviated as P-Funk, is an American funk musical collective of rotating musicians headed by George Clinton, primarily consisting of the individual bands Parliament and Funkadelic, both active since the 1960s. Their distinctive funk style drew on psychedelic culture, outlandish fashion, science fiction, and surreal humor. It would have an influential effect on subsequent funk, post-punk, hip-hop, and post-disco artists of the 1980s and 1990s, while their collective mythology would help pioneer Afrofuturism. The collective's origins date back to the doo-wop group The Parliaments, formed by Clinton in the late 1950s in Plainfield, New Jersey, under the influence of late 1960s artists such as Jimi Hendrix, Sly Stone, and Frank Zappa. Clinton later relocated to Detroit and began the sister groups Parliament and Funkadelic, with the former playing an eclectic and more commercial form of funk, and the later incorporating more influence from psychedelic rock. The groups released albums such as Maggot Brain, 1971, Mothership Connection, 1975, and One Nation Under a Groove, 1978, to critical praise, and scored charting hits with singles such as Give Up the Funk in 1976, One Nation Under a Groove in 1978, Flashlight, 1978, and Atomic Dog, 1982. Overall, the collective achieved 13 top 10 hits in the American R&B music charts between 1967 and 1983, including 6 number 1 hits. So then why are they a part of Satan's musical prophets? We shall show you, and let you be the judge.
Parliament Funkadelic was probably one of the best groups for partying back in the days. I mean, in the 70s, boy, if you went to a neighborhood party, they were kicking out Parliament Funkadelic. I mean, guys in the streets would be blasting the music, Flashlight. They'd be blasting, it was One Nation Under a Groove, Not Just Knee Deep. I mean, those songs were huge in the black community. And so when you think about the impact that this music has made on the youth, I'm telling you right now, it is incredible. Growing up in the summertime, that's what you heard all summer long was Parliament Funkadelic. And people hung out. It was all about partying, having fun. But of course the fun wasn't innocent, clean fun. There was a lot of lust going on. There was a lot of drugs going on. There's a lot of smoking of marijuana and other drugs too, you see. And so it was really just a street thing. You know, almost like it was the beginning of the hanging out in the hood thing, you know, in the 70s. There were gangs like was it Earl Flynn and BKs, and they would always be throwing up the cymbals and the signs and dancing and doing their little dances to this music. I mean, it was something that we grew up with, you know. I was a teenager, a young teenager at the time, you know. And so I really remember it, you know. I remember what it did to the young men. I remember what the music did to me growing up, you know, and the stuff that I received in my spirit as a listening to that music years ago. Things I had to later on get out of my head, you know.
The album titled Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow was recorded at GM Recording Studios in Detroit. The inspiration for this album was, according to George Clinton, an attempt to, quote, see if we can cut a whole album while we're all tripping on acid, unquote. The album and its title track introduces the subversion of Christian themes explored on later songs, describing a mystical approach to salvation in which the kingdom of heaven is within and achievable through freeing one's mind, after which one's ass will follow. Many of the songs, such as the title track and Eulogy and Light, subvert Christian themes, including the Lord's Prayer and the 23rd Psalm.
You got to ask yourself, why Christian themes? Okay? Why were they using Christian themes? They were obviously trying to send a message to the Christian. And they knew by using the scriptures and perverting them that it would get people's mind. They knew they had something that would be more like a hook. You know, like when you're fishing and you put something on the hook, you got to put something on the hook that'll get the youth. And that's what it was. It was some of these Christian themes, you know, and some of the stuff and the music was very luring, you know.
Now the song Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow. There's something very, very sinister going on with this song as well. Is actually speaking a curse onto a whole generation of women who actually listen to this. When you look at the album cover alone, it's made to where you see only a portion of it, then you open up and you see the whole story. And so there is a meaning behind the Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow.
Lyrics to Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow. Free your mind and your ass will follow. The kingdom of heaven is within. I'm so confused about it all. I'm so confused about the whole thing. I don't understand. I don't understand nothing. I don't know what I feel. I can't feel me. I can't live me. I can't be me. My mind, it does not belong to me. I'm so confused. I can't hear myself. I can't hear myself calling for help. I can't free my mind, so my ass can't follow. Someone help me. I got to get help. Here's my arm. Help me escape. I don't want to. I can't free my mind. No, no, no. They won't free me. I can't run. I can't get out. I can't free my mind. I'm so mixed up. So mixed up. What time is it?
Throughout the song, there is confusion being programmed into the minds of women who are listening to the lyrics of the song, because there's this confession being made. I'm confused, I can't free my mind, so my ass can't follow, right? And so throughout the song, the woman is expressing confusion or saying that she can't do this, and she's calling for help in the song. She's pretty much saying, help me not to be confused. And his solution is, if you could just free your mind, your ass will follow. All of this confusion is being played in, and through your real life, the confusion is being played out. Yet we go back again to the confusion that is played in through music and through lyrics that you are speaking and singing, but through your actual life, the confusion is being played out. When you look at the album cover for Free Your Mind and Your Ass Will Follow, it is yet again the exploitation of the woman's body. Throughout the lyrics, you see this. There's this pull for having some type of interaction or sexual interaction with women. And so when you have the album cover also promoting that, there's this exploitation to where it cheapens a woman, it cheapens the relationship between a man and a woman, because it's being normalized through music and through the art and the photos or the imagery that they're using to promote and sell their music.
The lyrics to Eulogy and Light. Our Father, which art on Wall Street, honored be thy buck, thy kingdom came. This be thy year, from sea to shining sea. Thou givest me false pride, punked down by the riverside. From every head and ass, may the dollars flow. Give us this pay, our daily bread. Forgive us our goose, as we rob from each other. He maketh me to sell dope to small children, for thou art evil. And we adore thee. Thy destruction and thy power, they comfort me. My Cadillac and my pinky ring, they restore me in thee. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of poverty, I must feel their envy. For I am loaded high with all those other goodies that go along with the good God big buck.
The song Eulogy and Light. It's plain to see in these lyrics how wicked they are, because they took our Father in Heaven's prayer, and what did they do? They turned it around and made it something very wicked. You know, for them to say, our Father which art on Wall Street, who is he talking about? Who is his father then? Huh? Honored be thy buck, thy kingdom came, right? Then he goes on and says, thou givest me false pride, funked down by the riverside. From every head and ass may the dollars flow. Give me this pay, our daily bread. Forgive us of our goose as we rob from each other. What kind of sick mind is putting this stuff together? Think about it. It's obvious when you look at the lyrics that they were on some type of drugs to come up with such stuff. Who does that? Notice he says, he maketh me to sell dope to small children, for thou art evil. Oh, he's telling you who his father is. It's the devil. Because we know our Father in heaven don't do that, right? He says, we adore thee, thy destruction and power, they comfort me. My Cadillac and my pink ring, they restoreth thee. Your Cadillac and pink ring, Cadillac. See what I mean? It's back to the pimp. Oh, I got my Cadillac, I got my clothes, I got my pinky ring, you know, and look at me, I'm the pimp, you know? Then he makes this statement which lets you know he's trying to show off, showboat. He says, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of poverty, I must feel their envy. Why? For I am loaded high with all those other goodies that go along with the good God buck. So his God, he's telling you, is the buck, the dollar bill. This is my God. And I can drive around in my Cadillac and everybody envying me. Yeah, I'm just driving around leaning, you know, everybody envying me. You know, I got the ladies. You know, that's what this whole thing is about. It's like when you look at his music, it's almost like drugs and pimp. It reminds me of the movie industry of the early 70s. You know, remember the movie Superfly? Remember that movie, right? And you look at the songs, Freddie's Dead, you know, and the songs and the lyrics. When you look at this stuff, look at the image on the cover of Superfly. Here's a pimp with a hooker. You know, that's what they pushed in the 70s. In the movie industry, they pushed that. In the music industry, they pushed it. It was a heavy thing to do what? Bring our people's minds down, right? To make us into pimps and hookers. That's what it was all about.
Funky dollar bill, US dollar bill. You go to school to learn the rules on how to love and live your life. But think about it twice. The pusher push, the fixer fix, the judge acquits, the junkie leads his life for the dollar bill, funky dollar bill, US dollar bill.
Funky dollar bill lyrics. Okay. They mentioned the pusher push, the fixer fix, the judge acquits, the junkie leads his life for the dollar bill. I mean, it's all about the money, pushing the drugs and money. I mean, that's literally what he's talking about in the song. As a matter of fact, that's what he talks about in a lot of the songs. He's talking about that money. He's talking about the drugs. He's talking about all of that stuff. Just look at some of the images that he have on some of the album covers. What do you see on the album covers? You see images of pimps and women half nude and looking like prostitutes, and this is what you see. This is the image that he's pushing. You see, he himself looks like a pimp on his album covers.
Lyrics for Cosmic Slop Funkadelic. I was one of 5 born to my mother, an older sister and 3 young brothers. We seen it hard, we seen it kinda rough, but always with a smile. She was sure to try to hide the fact from us that life was really tough. I can hear my mother call, I can hear my mother call. And at night I hear her call, all the night I hear her call. She says, Father, Father, it's for the kids. Any and everything I did, please, please don't judge me too strong. Lord knows I meant no wrong. Lord knows I meant no wrong. Then the devil sang, Would you like to dance with me? We're doing a cosmic slop. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing a cosmic slop. She was well known through the ghettos. Tricks would come and then they'd go. The neighbors would talk and call her Jezebel, but always with a smile. She was sure to try to hide the fact from us that she was catching hell.
Now when you get more into the lyrics, it appears to be a man talking about his own mother and how basically she had to go out and sell her body to take care of her children, okay? In this, she appears to pray and say, Father, forgive me, or don't judge me because I had to do this for the kids, right? Then there's another part where she's actually talking to the devil, where he's talking to her and said, would you like to dance with me? And so she agrees to enter into this dance with the devil. And they said that she's known in the ghettos as a prostitute, a Jezebel, and all of these kinds of things. And she's catching hell because of this lifestyle that she chose. But all of this being put to music and presented to you as an innocent storyline, you kind of get a sense of it's just music, it's just entertainment. But many people are actually living out these lifestyles and bringing justification through it or to it through music.
Parliament is a funk band formed in the late 1960s by George Clinton as part of his Parliament Funkadelic collective. Less rock-oriented than its sister act, Funkadelic, Parliament drew on science fiction and outlandish performances in their work. The band scored a number of top 10 hits, including the million-selling 1975 single Give Up the Funk, Tear the Roof Off the Sucker, and top 40 albums such as Mothership Connection in 1975. Parliament was originally The Parliaments, a doo-wop vocal group based at a Plainfield, New Jersey barbershop. The group was formed in the late 1950s and included George Clinton, Ray Davies, Fuzzy Haskins, Calvin Simon, and Grady Thomas. Clinton was the group leader and manager. To capitalize, Clinton formed a backing band for a tour featuring teenage barbershop employee Billy Bass Nelson on bass and his friend Eddie Hazel on guitar, with the lineup eventually rounded out by Tall Ross on guitar, Tiki Fullwood on drums, and Mickey Atkins on organ. During a contractual dispute with Revelo, Clinton temporarily lost the rights to the name The Parliaments and signed the ensemble to Westbound Records as Funkadelic, which Clinton positioned as a funk rock band featuring the 5 touring musicians with the 5 Parliaments singers as uncredited guests, with Funkadelic as a recording and touring entity in its own right. In 1970, Clinton relaunched the singing group, now known as Parliament, at first featuring the same 10 members. Clinton was now the leader of 2 different acts, Parliament and Funkadelic, which featured the same members but were marketed as creating 2 different types of funk. Mothership Connection is the 4th album by American funk band Parliament, released on December 15, 1975 on Casablanca Records. This concept album of a P-Funk mythology is usually rated as one of Parliament's best. George Clinton created a storyline of all these characters to mock the scriptures, and he didn't bring them all in at once, but he used different albums to bring in different characters.
George Clinton created a storyline of all these characters to mock the scriptures. He didn't bring them in all at once. He brought them in using different albums to bring in different characters. For instance, with the Mothership Connection, which came out in 1975, he brought in the concept of P-Funk. And then what? The Mothership. And then a character came on the scene by the name of Star Child. But when you look at Star Child, who is he? Who is the Star Child? He is a guy parading on stage, grown man parading on stage in a diaper. And they call him the Star Child, right? And then the Star Child, when you look at who he is representing, he's actually supposed to be representing the Messiah. That's right. That's why people didn't realize what was going on in their music was so diabolical, to take characters out of the scriptures and turn it around, and things in the scriptures and turn around and use it wickedly like this. It shows the sinister behind the music. Just look at the Mothership Connection album. You see this guy that's in the doorway of the spaceship that's flying. He all in there with his leg, with this weird outfit on. Outfit looked very effeminate, and he got his butt all in the air and everything, right? I mean, just look at the image and you see how crazy this stuff looks, right? But this was the norm for them. It was cool. You could do this kind of stuff and get away with it back then, High heels on, Mothership Connection. This is all to bring you to this point to where he has this storyline that he's telling about the mothership that's supposed to come back for y'all's people. See, him telling you this storyline is right out of the scriptures. So I want you to look at some of this stuff.
Lyrics to P-Funk. Welcome to the station, WEFUNK, better known as We Funk.
deeper still, the Mothership Connection, home of the extraterrestrial brothers, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, uncut funk, the bomb. Coming to you directly from the mothership, top of the chocolate Milky Way, 500 kilowatts of P-Funk power. So kick back, dig, while we do it to you in your eardrums. And me, I'm known as the Lollipop Man, alias the long-haired sucker. My motto is, make my funk the P-Funk. I want the funk uncut. Make my funk the P-Funk. I want to get funked up. I want the bomb. I want the P-Funk. I want the funk uncut. Make my funk the P-Funk.
So basically he said, home of the extraterrestrial brothers. Okay. Dealers of funky music, dealers, right? P-Funk, uncut funk. P-Funk, uncut funk, the bomb. Sound like drugs, don't it? Uncut. It's uncut like you cut cocaine. It's uncut dealers, extraterrestrial brothers. Now we know demons have manifested themselves as what? Aliens. Extraterrestrial, right? Notice he says, I want the funk, I want the uncut funk. Make my funk the P-Funk. I want to get funked up. See, it's like a drug. I'm getting funked up. I want the bomb. I want the P-Funk. I want my funk uncut. So you ask yourself, what is he talking about here? Is he talking about music? Or is he talking about drugs? You know he was on drugs when he wrote a lot of this stuff, right? He was out of his mind on drugs when he wrote this stuff. He even told you in some of his interviews that he was on acid a lot of the times that he wrote some of these lyrics.
The lyrics to Star Child. Well, alright, Star Child, citizens of the universe, recording angels. We have returned to claim the pyramids, partying on the mothership. I am the Mothership Connection, getting down in 3D, light year grooving. Alright, hear any noise? Ain't nobody but me and the boys getting down. Hit it, fellas. If you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. You gotta hit the band. Alright, Star Child here. Put a glide in your stride and a dip in your hip, and come on up to the mothership. Loose booty, doing the bump. Hustle on over here.
The song Star Child is very interesting. When he introduced this character Star Child, I'll never forget when me and a friend of mine, we were just kind of doing a little research into some of the music, and we came across some of these characters, and this was before I got married. You see how long I've been married? This was before I met my wife. So this heads have been close to 30 years ago. Okay, more than 30 years actually. But me and a friend of mine, this is around after we first received the Ruach, you know, and we were just doing some studying. We got to looking at some of the album covers, just looking at some of the things, you know. And we came across this Star Child character. And we knew right away, Star Child. Wait a minute, is he talking about the Messiah? And we knew it. We said, man, that's what he's talking about, the Messiah. And the Messiah is coming back in the mothership, you know. Now listen to what he says in this song. He says, well, all right, Star Child, citizens of the universe, recording angels. Why did he say recording angels? Huh? He says, we have returned to claim the pyramids, right? Partying on the mothership. And then he says, I am the Mothership connection. See, he took that right out the scriptures. I am. And then he says the mothership connection. I'm that connection to the mothership. Just like Yahushua said, I am the door. I am the door, right? Where did he show George Clinton? In the door of the mothership. And then he says, I am the mothership connection. You want to come up here to the kingdom? You got to go through me. That's pretty much what he's trying to say with his songs. He's trying to bring in these characters out of the scriptures, and then he's going to take them and he's going to twist these characters, right? But where do you see what he had planned? Because all of these songs and all these characters are working this way to something very horrible that he's going to bring out in his later songs.
Lyrics to Unfunky UFO. Oh, but then like a streak of lightning it came, filling my brain with this pain. Without saying a word, this word I heard, give up the funk, you punk. Unfunky kind of UFO, from the sun, here from the sun. You've got the groove, and we want some. Unfunky and obsolete. We're unfunky and we're obsolete. And out of time, and we're out of time. Gonna take your funk and make it mine.
Now notice he says, oh, but then like a streak of lightning it came, filling my brain with this pain. Now notice the scripture talks about Satan doing what? Falling like lightning from the sky, right? Then he says, without saying a word, this voice I heard, give up the funk, you punk. Give up the funk, you punk, right? Then look at his hook, unfunky kind of UFO, from the sun. Here from the sun. Sun god worship, unfunky UFO, more extraterrestrial stuff, right? Unfunky UFO. Okay, so this is what he's pushing, right? He's trying to get you to see, hey, I want to pull y'all on into this whole concept that I'm trying to bring in. It's a new funk, right? It's called the P-Funk. It's a different kind of funk than all the other music y'all getting out there. My funk is a different funk. Do you see it?
The song entitled No Compute have some very, very disgusting lyrics, okay? And so when you look at the lyrics to these songs, you will be disgusted just by some of the things that are being talked about. No compute. And I'm going to just summarize it for you. I'm not going to read the lyrics to you. I'm going to summarize it because they are that disgusting. And you wonder why people's minds are just gone into all types of filth and debauchery. But when you look at songs like this, the woman asks, she says, are you asking to make love to me? And then he goes on and he asks her, or he gives her an answer to that. And he gives a reference to a pig. Okay, we're going to put the lyrics so that you can see. He gives reference to a pig. And then she's kind of like playing hard to get. And she's saying, no compute. I don't understand what you're talking about, right? So it's one of those things. And he's talking about the things that he wants to do to her in this song, the things that he wants to do with her body, because she's concerned about having a baby. And he's basically saying, or getting pregnant, should I say, he's basically saying all the things that I'm going to do to you, you don't have to worry about that, okay? He's giving reference to, does spit make babies? So with that, you can determine exactly what this devilish mind is talking about. I want you to pay very close attention to the album cover, Maggot Brain. The black woman, if you notice, is the theme of most of their music and all this filth. The portrayal of the black woman in their music and on their album covers and in their lyrics, it shows her in such a bad light, confused, maggot brain. When you look at this image, you have the black woman with her head sticking out of the dirt, okay? And notice he says maggot brain, as if there's something filthy in there and you have maggots in the brain. She is looking to be in distress as she's in the dirt. Her head is the only thing sticking out of the dirt, okay? With all of this, with all these lyrics, and you have the one talking about confusion and no compute and all these different things, almost as if there's a programming of confusion, and that the black woman is just so out of her mind that she doesn't know what to do. She's confused, and she's allowing her body to be used in all of these different ways. There's this promotion of her body and her booty and sexuality and sensuality and lewdness and debauchery and all of these different things. And so her body being on display and the exploitation of her body and her mind and all of these things is being perpetuated and promoted by black men in this group. We listen at their music and their beats, and you're bouncing around and you're dancing, and all you can hear is the beat. And you don't realize that Parliament Funkadelic, they're using their music to program not just the minds of women to be confused and saying, I don't compute, and allowing their bodies and their minds to be used and abused, but they're also programming the young men to participate in treating black women the way that they are being portrayed through their music. One thing I wanted to say too, gospel singer Kirk Franklin, he used one of the beats from one of their songs to promote stomp. Okay, and so it even crosses over into the gospel music arena to where they think it's okay to grab something that was created from the minds of such wicked men. So you want to use it to try to promote gospel music now. And so you have people jumping and humping around to gospel music from something that you borrowed from the mind of George Clinton. So now you wonder where the younger generations get it from. When you look at their music and their music videos and their lyrics, they get it from this group here, Parliament Funkadelic. Because of the exploitation of women and all of the debauchery and the sin and the lewdness, it has made its way into the music of these younger generations. This man, George Clinton, and his group, they admitted that they used drugs while making some of this music. And so now all of this stuff is being passed down to the younger generations, who will essentially pass it down to the generations after them. So we have created a perverse generation, and through music, all hell is breaking loose in the minds of our people and in our children.
The original vinyl release contained a 22-inch by 33-inch poster of the character Sir Nose devoid of funk, as well as an 8-page comic book that explains the concept behind the LP. Overton Lloyd's comic for the Parliament's Funkadelic versus the Placebo Syndrome, wherein we are introduced to the duel between Starchild and Sir Nose devoid of funk. The comic reads as follows.
And it came to pass upon his return, Dr. Funkenstein did find the planet to have completely lost the beat of the Funkadelic, and had fallen prey to the placebo syndrome spread throughout the galaxy by the infamous Sir Nose devoid of funk. Driven by the genius of desperation, Dr. Funkenstein sends Starchild to do battle armed with his greatest invention of all times, the bop gun. Now old Sir Nose had been woofing for days on how he could wipe the funk off Starchild's face with a blast from his snooze gun and the drop of a letter J. Sir Noses then plans to off himself rather than submit to the funk, and then ambush him in the name of saving his life and soul. Hardly did he realize that the Starchild indeed had eyes in the back of his head and could read thought clouds with an acute type accuracy, and heard Sir Nose's plan. Star then, before Sir Nose could off himself, shoots him with the bop gun. Sir Nose screams, "Ain't nothing but a party!" And in a flash of light, Sir Nose gives up the funk.
Funkadelic versus the Placebo Syndrome. This album introduces two more things. Another character and an item is called the bop gun. The one character that they introduce is this guy that's called Sir Nose Devoid of Funk.
The lyrics to Sir Nose Devoid of Funk.
I am Sir Nose Devoid of Funk. I have always been devoid of funk. I shall continue to be devoid of funk, star child. You have only won a battle. I am the subliminal seducer. I will never dance. I shall return, star child. Syndrome, Tweedledee, humdrum. I will never dance, syndrome, Tweedledee-dum, humdrum, don't succumb.
Better luck next time. I can dig it. This is Star Child. All another day, chasing the noses away. Protector of the pleasure principle. Syndrome, Tweedledee-dum, humdrum, don't succumb. This is Star Child. Let me put on my sunglasses so I can see what they ain't looking at. 3 blind mice, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. Turn on the farm with the water pipe. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life? Those 3 blind mice. Those blind 3 mice. Oh, I love those Mises to pieces. Oh, speaking of the zone of zero funkativity, better known as Nose Zone. Has anybody seen old Smell-O-Vision? Where is Sir Nosed? If y'all see Sir Nose, tell him the Star Child said, ho, put that snoot to use, you mother. 'Cause you will dance, sucker. Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, nickel bag full. Better luck next time. Pay attention. Syndrome, Tweedledee-dum, humdrum, don't succumb. Star Child, protector of the pleasure principle. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, I'm up to on them Mises to pieces. No one knows where the nose goes when the door is closed. No one knows where the nose go when the door is closed. Oh, there's a throwing up. Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, a nickel bag full. Pay attention. Bum, bum, yum, yum, dumb. Protector of the pleasure principle. Has anybody seen Sir Nose Devoid of Funk? Tell him he will dance, he must dance. I'll shoot him with the bob gun. Oh, there's a picture within a picture, behind a picture. They're building a nose I think I recognize.
When you look at the lyrics to Sir Nose Devoid of Funk, there is Sir Nose, which looks like he has the nose of Pinocchio, and he also is a pimp, okay? He represents a pimp within their concert series, okay? He comes out on the stage and he's dressed like a pimp. He has this weird hair and these weird clothes, and he has this long Pinocchio nose. So basically they're telling you that he's a lying pimp, okay? Now, he does these lewd dances on stage that are meant to cause women to react, because these dances where his body is showing, in some cases, they're very sensual and sexual type dances, and he's doing this on stage, and women in the audience are going nuts over this because they're looking at this lying pimp, Sir Nose, performing on stage. When you look at how he's dressed, it's very telling of what his character is all about.
This character, Sir Nose Devoid of Funk, I remember the first time I listened to the song titled Sir Nose Devoid of Funk. That song was almost like, when I first heard it, it pulled me in just from the first time hearing it, like something was taking a hold of me. When I first heard the song, I mean, it just literally just pulled me right in. And then I was like, man, and the storyline, and I was listening to the lyrics, and it just literally just pulled me in. Now, one thing I noticed about the song Sir Knows He Void of Funk in the lyrics, he makes mention, he keeps saying, pay attention, right? And then he says, let me put on my sunglasses so I can see what you ain't looking at. In other words, something here you can't see because you don't have on your sunglasses, but I got mine on and I can see what's going on. Wow. And I also noticed that the song contained at least a couple of nursery rhymes. Okay, one of them was called Blah Blah Black Sheep. You remember that one? And the other one was called Three Blind Mice. He changed it around in the lyrics to give reference to drugs. That's right. Or to lust. Just like you say, three blind mice, see how they run? They all run out with the farmer's wife, turn up the fun with a water pipe. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life? And so basically, he said they ran off with the farmer's wife and they turned up the fun with the water pipe. What is the water pipe? What do you think he's talking about, right? And the song Blah Blah Black Sheep, the nursery rhyme, Blah Blah Black Sheep, is really creepy because what he says in the song, he says, Blah Blah Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, a nickel bag full. A nickel bag? Oh, see, it's about drugs. He's talking about the funk like it's drugs, right? At the same time, they're on drugs, right? So when you listen to the lyrics, the first part of the song is very creepy. You know, this character, Sir No, comes in on the scene. And I'm telling you, if I could play it, you would hear it. It sounds so creepy. To this day, I don't even know how they were able to make this sound back in the 70s to sound this creepy. Because Sir Knows the Void of Funk is speaking, but he sounds like it's multiple spirits speaking out of him because of the way he sounds. And he comes on, he says, I am Sir Knows devoid of funk. I have always been devoid of funk. I shall continue to devoid the funk, Star Child. So he's talking to Star Child. And then he says, you have only won a battle. What battle are you referring to? When the Star Child came down and defeated principalities, right? Talking about the Messiah, when he came down, he defeated principalities. So the devil, Sir Knows he void of funk, is the devil. Why do you think his nose is so long? Huh? Because they're trying to tell you he's like Pinocchio. Okay? He's a liar. He told so many lies that Sir Knows he void of funk. His nose is way out here. He's a liar, right? He's the father of lies, the father of deception. And he's the devil. And he's talking to Star Child, and he tells the Star Child in the song, he said, you only won a battle. Then he says this here, I am the subliminal seducer. I will never dance, and I shall return, Star Child. And so when he says that, subliminal seducer, what do you mean by you are the subliminal seducer? He's saying, I am seducing you subliminally, even with this music that I've given George Clinton. I'm seducing you subliminally. And I'm telling you, his music was just like that. When he came out with his songs, they were very alluring, very seductive. This is why Kirk Franklin couldn't even let go of the music. Here this man is, the song One Nation Under a Groove had come out years ago. And here Kirk Franklin is, he still couldn't let it go. After all those years, he had to do his own song sampling the song One Nation Under a Groove, right? And it's like, why would you do that? Because Kirk Franklin needs to understand that George Clinton and his crew were on drugs. They were on plenty drugs. They had plenty demons in them when they wrote these songs, right? And so in the song, after he tells him he's a subliminal seducer, you hear him walking off making this chant, right? And in this chant, you hear these little demons like talking. They almost sound like they're worshiping him. Sir knows, devoid of funk. It sounds creepy, you know? And so when you look at all this stuff, they put all this in the song. Then he says, I will never dance. Nope, I will never dance. What's with the I will never dance, huh? You know, in another song, he said, I will never swim. And then he comes back, he said, I'll never swim or dance. What's with the swimming and the dancing? I'll tell you. Because swimming has reference to do with water. And water has reference to do in the scripture with what? Being baptized, being cleansed. Dancing has reference to do with what? You see, he's when the spirit of Yahuwah comes upon me, I will dance like David danced. You see where they get all this stuff from? So he would say, I will never dance, I'll never swim. No, I'll never do that. You see, and I'm going to tell you, I know right now you're saying something, man, really? Yes, I'm going to tell you something. Watch when we go deeper into some of his music that he came out with, you're going to for sure know that he had a plan with all these characters. Another part of the song I want to bring out is when he said this in the lyrics. He said, oh, speak of the zone of zero funkativity, better known as the nose zone. Then he says, anybody seen old Smell-O-Vision? He says, where is Sir Nose, right? Then he says, if y'all see Sir Nose, tell him the Star Child said, put your snoop to use because you will dance. So Star Child's like, I got this bop gun. I'm going to hit you with this bop gun. I'm going to make you dance, right? Yeah. Think about these lyrics, right? So now, Sir Nose goes and he makes this statement near the end of the song. And you say, what did he mean by that? But Sir Nose goes and he makes this statement. He says, no one knows where the nose go when the door is closed. Satan is trying to say something through this music. He said, you don't know where I'm going when the door is closed. What door are you referring to? See, there's a heavenly door that's going to be closing and he knows it. He said, but you ain't going to know where I'm going to go when that door is closed. Wow.
Now, when you look at some of the lyrics to the song, he says, three blind mice, see how they run. Then it talks about going after the farmer's wife. And then he says something about turning on the fun with a water pipe. So is he describing that catching up to the farmer's wife, he's going to turn on the fun with a water pipe? Is this an expression of rape? Is that what he's trying to say with those lyrics? Because basically, you are starting to get the picture that this particular group is very sexual, and it's not just normal type sex. It's talking about all types of lewdness and debauchery, and in this case, it sounds like rape even, going after the farmer's wife and turning on the fun with a water pipe. Music is not innocent.
It's Star Child that owns the bob gun. Where did he get the bob gun from? He actually got it from Dr. Funkadelic. This is another character that they brought in with one of their albums. Okay? Dr. Funkadelic, who shows up and he gives this bob gun to Star Child. And Star Child has to deal with this character called Sir Nose, devoid of funk. Okay? Now, let's look at the bob gun lyrics.
The lyrics to Bob Gun. Turn me loose, we shall overcome. Where did you get that funk from, huh? Turn them on, they're spoiling the fun. Let's shoot them with the Bob Gun. Endangered species, let me shoot them with the Bob Gun. Endangered species, we gotta get over the hump. When the syndrome is around, on guard, don't let your guard down. All you got to do is Call on the funk. Oh, they're spoiling the fun. Shoot them with the bop gun.
Now notice it says, turn me loose, we shall overcome. Interesting. Where'd you get that funk from? Huh? Turn them on, they'll spoil the fun. Let's shoot them with the bop gun. Okay? When the syndrome is around, on guard, don't let your guard down. All you got to do is call on the funk. Don't this stuff sound familiar? Just call on the funk, man. Just call on the funk like it's a god or something. Like you calling on a spirit. Like if you call on the P-Funk, some spirit is gonna show up, right? And get a hold of you, right? Turn me loose, right? Think about what he's saying in these songs.
Lyrics to Flashlight. Now I lay me down to sleep. Oh, I just can't find a beat. Flashlight. Oh, I will never dance. Flashlight. 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 Para-para-di-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. Oh, it's no use. Flashlight. Red light. Neon light. Ooh, stop light. Now I lay me down to sleep. I guess I'll go and count the sheep. Oh, but I will never dance.
Flashlight. The song Flashlight. Notice this, right? Star Child has two weapons against Sir Nosy Void Funk, aka Satan. Okay? He has two weapons. What is his weapons? One of his weapons is the bop gun. So I'm gonna hit Sir Nose with my bop gun, right? Or I'm gonna shine my flashlight on him. That's why if you listen to the song Flashlight, he said, I will never dance, I will never dance, right? And then they said, we hit him with the flashlight, right? And he said, oh no, flashlight, red light, neon light. He goes on about the flashlights, right? Because a flashlight, the light is doing something to Satan, because Satan don't like the light, right? He like darkness, right? But I find this is very creepy when here you have Sir Nose in this song, which is Satan telling you what he's doing in the songs. Now listen to what he says in this song. He said, now I lay me down to sleep, which we know is a kid's prayer, right? He said, oh, I just can't find a beat. Flashlight, right? Then he comes back and he says this. Listen to this statement. He says, now I lay me down to sleep. I guess I'll go count the sheep. What sheep are you referring to, Satan? Yah's people. Yeah, the lost sheep of Israel. You see, he's keeping a count because he wants to get a hold of every last one of them. That's why he's gonna be upset when his bride is snatched out of here to the marriage supper of the Lamb. That's why he goes up into heaven and he makes war, because he was counting the sheep and he's angry that Yah snatched up a huge number of the sheep. Wow. Now I lay me down the sheep. I guess I'll go count the sheep.
Many artists expanded their minds with LSD experimentation during the 1960s. In the case of George Clinton and his Parliament and Funkadelic bandmates, the drug expanded more than that. Clinton is quoted saying, "The thing about acid is that it ruins your stomach. It's acid after all," he tells the Post. We are eating a lot of soul food at the time too, so basically, we all spent hours in the bathroom and had more hemorrhoids than you could imagine. Clinton, 73, is not a man of secrets, which makes his memoir, Brothers Be Yo Like George, Ain't That Funkin' Kinda Hard on You, out Tuesday, all the more entertaining. The funk pioneer has led a life that will make you laugh, cry, and wince. As a teenager in New Jersey, he formed a doo-wop group called The Parliaments. After a spell working as a songwriter for Motown in Detroit, Clinton fashioned his own form of funk through the slightly renamed Parliament and their psychedelic-influenced sister band Funkadelic, known collectively as P-Funk. Part of P-Funk's appeal was the live show, a surreal blend of musicians in outlandish costumes, including diaper-wearing guitarist Gary Scheider, weed-smoking aplenty, and even a spaceship. Clinton also devised an otherworldly lyrical mythology featuring aliens and alter egos such as Dr. Funkenstein and Sir Nose Devoid of Funk. He incorporated these freakish characters into his offstage image too, which backfired when it came to the ladies. In the book, he recalls the time a groupie in the 1970s announced her intention to sleep with a member of Funkadelic, before pointing to Clinton and saying, "But not you." Quote, "I used to wear stars in my hair, a jockstrap outside my pants, all kinds of weird stuff," he remembers. "I actually got freaked out when girls wanted me because I figured they were weirder than me." End quote. Drug use was common for a touring funk band during the 1970s, but for Clinton, it was crack that took the biggest toll. He once spent a night in jail with Sly Stone after being busted for possession in a Denny's parking lot. Now clean after 30 years of on and off drug use, one of the reasons that Clinton kicked the habit was to have more energy to fight in court for money he feels he's owed for his music. Publishing rights to many of his songs, which have been sampled countless times by hip-hop artists, belong to a company called Bridgeport, which he claims obtained the rights fraudulently.
So the group has this album called Motor Booty Affair, and for the most part it's all about booty, okay? So you can see where we're going with all of this. We're going to introduce some very, very interesting information to you. In this album, they are introducing all of these characters. Now, one of the characters is called Queen Freakaline, okay? And then you have Rita the Mermaid. And then you also have Mr. Wiggles the Worm. And he and his ladies giggle and squirm. It's like a pimp and his girls, you see. And so with all of this, you can kind of get a feel for how the album is going and the direction that it's going. So it's all about the promotion of a pimp and his girls and all of this freaky stuff and all of this debauchery that's being promoted through an album. And so when you think of music as being harmless, you can see better and you can know better that music is not harmless. So many different things are introduced through music, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples, okay? When you look at the album covers, you have all of these characters that he's introducing. Just take a look at these album covers. Just take a look at these album covers. Women in all different types of positions and dressed in all kinds of clothes, and he is showing the black female bottom, or booty as he calls it, okay? There's a chant within this album that George Clinton is trying to introduce. What he's doing is attempting to create his own version of what Mary Poppins did when she introduced the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. But this is his version of it. It is called the Psycho Alpha Disco Beta Bio Aqua Deloop. Okay, this is what he did in his song. And so with all of this, as we get deeper and deeper into this, you're going to see exactly how sinister this group was and what they introduced to our ears through the music industry.
Aqua Boogie was a song that was recorded on the Motor Booty Affair album. Okay, Motor Booty Affair, you see it's all about the booty again. It's all about the lust and the sex and all of this kind of stuff. And notice, here it is again. He's bringing in these characters all over again. He bringing this character called Freakaline and a mermaid named Rita, right? He also got this character called Mr. Wiggles, who's a pimp, and he got these two worms called Giggles and Squirm, right? I mean, think about this stuff, right? And when you look at the album, all the crazy stuff he's saying in these songs on this album is just horrible. Very nasty stuff was on this album, right? Now, listen to the song, part of the lyrics to the song Liquid Sunshine. He actually says, it's just a sunshine song to take you home. We'll play for you. It's just a sunshine song and won't take you long to lay for you. What do you mean by that? A sunshine song. Liquid Sunshine. What's the name of the song? There's so much here, you know, when you think about it, you know, in these songs' lyrics, and you say, what in the world are you talking about here?
Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of the lyrics on this album, which is all about exploiting a woman's body. Some of the stuff I'm not going to say. I will just let you look at the words on the screen for the most part, because some of it is just so disgusting. But this group, among others, are the reasons why you see some of the filth in music today. They help to introduce this whole environment of filth into music. So let me just give you some of the lyrics, okay? Oh, shut your garbage mouth, woman, okay? You might want to rent and I'm going to stop it right there. The best stroke is the breaststroke, okay? And so another one, I've got a motor booty and I'm full of gas, baby. Motor booty, baby. Now, some of this stuff is just too out there that I'm not going to say, okay? Again, you can look at some of the lyrics or look up some of the lyrics of this group and you will see just how disgusting they are. And when you sit back and you think that music is innocent, listen to stuff like, let's go spawning, it's mating time, two freaky fish together. That's what this group was all about. And this is why we are doing this documentary series, because you don't know why your mind is so turned out. If you filled your mind with this garbage and you didn't know or understand what was being played in, your actions are playing out what was played in through this music.
One of the songs, though, that really made me see it was a prelude song, the lyrics to it. And the song that was on that album is called May We Bang You, okay?
Lyrics to May We Bang You. May we bang you on the one with the bang. Baby, let me bang you. Hot plasma in the vein. We wanna bang you. May we big bang you on the one with the bang. Baby, let me big bang you. Bang, bang. We really would just like to turn you on. Oh, turn you on. Bang. Can we be your favorite firecracker? Bang, bang. We really would just like to turn you on. Not your average kind of cherry bomb. There's gonna be a musical explosion. Glory be, the one that blows your mind. There's gonna be universal knocking. Glory be, funk gonna blow your mind. Dewy mind, kind of cherry bomb. May we bang you, hot plasma in your vein. May we bang you on the one with the bang. There's gonna be a musical explosion. Every day be like the 4th of July. Ha, there's gonna be universal rhythm. Big bang, yeah, look here. Look here, do my kind of cherry bomb.
Now, here's where all of the old songs and albums come together to form what I would refer to as the conclusion of what he's trying to bring in his music. Okay? The album titled Glory Holla Stupid. Pay attention. Okay? He's literally telling you now what it was all about. But see, he couldn't do this album first because people would have probably became wind of what he's trying to say in his music. So he had to come up with all these characters first and then bring them in, and then, okay, here's my grand finale. Okay, pay attention. On the album, there's this song that starts out, it's called Prologue. Okay,
Theme from Prologue. Quartz, gluons, red giants, white dwarfs, Big Bang. There are 8 billion tales in the naked universe. This is just one of them, but they all have black holes. A creative nuisance, recognizing stupidity as a positive force, as a positive nuisance.
okay. Listen to what it says. It says quarks, gluons, red giants, white dwarfs, Big Bang. Then he says there are 8 billion tales in the naked universe. This is just one of them, but they all have black holes. Now, when you think about this, right? He says quarks, giants, Big Bang. Talk about the Big Bang Theory. What is it about this Big Bang Theory that you're trying to say? Okay, with space and these characters that's coming from where? Outer space, because certain old Star Child, all of them seem to be coming from outer space. He getting them from the scriptures because they came from outer space, right? Now watch this. The song titled May We Bang You. Okay. In the song, he made mention of a musical explosion. Glory be, the one that blows your mind. There's gonna be a universal knocking. Glory be. Funk gonna blow your mind like a cherry bomb. The Big Bang Theory? What's the Big Bang Theory? I'll explain it to you, right? Watch this. His Big Bang that he's really trying to tell you, it's all about Satan. The musical explosion. Because we know Satan was a musician. Okay? Satan comes out of heaven with all of this skill of music and praise, right? And he brings it down to the earth, and he brings to the earth what? His musical explosion. The Big Bang of Satan's music, of his music, okay? That's gonna do what? Blow your mind. Pay attention. This part of the song where he says, "May we bang you," then he says it's like hot plasma in your vein. May we bang you on the one with the bang. On the one with the bang. May we bang you. May we bang you. It's like hot plasma in your vein. Again, it sounds like drugs again. It's like, are you talking about drugs or are you talking about music? Right? So now we go to the album, the song that's actually titled Glory Holla Stupid. What do you think he's trying to say with the song Glory Holla Stupid?
Lyrics to Glory Holla Stupid. Pin the tail on the funky. Oh, being aware of the non-ending condition of our radically non-logical necessary and yet free and responsible nature. It is not only our compulsion, but it is our duty to our booty to funk you. cheaper than discount family therapy. We bring you funk on the couch. From the doctor, glory holla stupid, pin the tail on the funky. I can assure this is the beginning of a meaningful relationship. Glory holla stupid, pin the tail on the funky. That fuss was us. Glory holla stupid, pin the tail on the funky. Multiple reality producing rhythms bring you glory holla stupid. A tale where the nose win in the end. That fuss was us in the tail end, if you know what I mean. Oh, that fuss was us. He's got the bug. She's got the bug. Debugging, baby. That fuss was us. They bug you, they bug your friends, until they bug you out. That fuss was us. Yeah, call us the pest control. Glory holla stupid, pin the tail on the funky. Yeah, Star Child. Bringing it to you all the way live, from deep in the black hole. I'm here with my man, Wellington Wigout, who says, if you move, you're dancing. If you're dancing, you're wigging. If you're wigging, he's wigging out. Glory holla stupid, pin the tail on the funky. When it comes to making love, he says he's the disco version. He's the long playing lover. Haha. Wellington Wigout. This is Wellington Wigout, and I'm bugging for you, baby. Oh, that fuss was us. We are deep in the black hole, light years away from a hole in it all. Partying down, that fuss was us. We found time to shine in a place that never shined before. Oh, enlightened, peekaboo, bustin' with my battery-operated CU. That fuss was us. Glory holla stupid.
All his albums come together, but to bring about this one album here, where he's calling the Almighty stupid. Did you pick up on that? He's calling the Almighty stupid. He said, glory holla stupid. He said, how is that? Because we know the word hallelujah means praise ye Yah. If you look it up in the scriptures, look it up. Hallelujah means praise ye Yah. He said, no, I'm not going to praise Yah. I'm going to call him stupid. Glory holla stupid. He's mocking the scriptures. His albums and his characters that he's coming up with, all this is done to mock the Heavenly Father and to disgrace the Messiah. Because he goes one step further. He don't stop at saying glory holla stupid. He said, we're going to pin the tail on the funky. Who is the funky you referring to? Star Child. That's right. We're going to pin the tail on the funky. We're going to make an ass, a jackass of the Messiah. That's what he's doing with his songs. You see it? Glory holla stupid. So the story, and then there's the part that gets you. In the song, in the lyrics, he says that this is a story where the nose win in the end. Talking about nose who? Sir Nose is going to win in the end. Satan is going to win in the end. That's what he totally took it all and switched it around. Glory holla stupid. And he had the whole world singing this song, calling him this. Pin the tail on the funky, right? You know, this thing, I'm telling you, is crazy when you look at these lyrics, right? He said, a tail with a nose went in the end. He said, that fuss was us. Okay? And then he has another record on the album that's called Theme from the Black Hole.
Lyrics from the Theme from the Black Hole. to the booty. Feel that, do that. For how else can you capture a boogie if you don't attack it from the back to the rear? March. My name is the one. Some people call me the funk. Here's a toast to the boogie. I said my name is the one. Some people call me the funk. Oh, I'll toast to that. And when I find a vacant booty, I'll move right in on the rub. Oh, I'm like a camel humping to please. I'm up to my hump in funk. Yeah, here's a toast to the boogie. I got jam in my knees, and I'm ready to spread all around the world for the funk. I'll toast to that. We don't cut in, we just butt in. So baby, may we have this dance? Here's a toast to the boogie. We'll dance to that. Bottoms up. I'll toast to that. Bottoms up. Here's a toast to the boogie. We'll funk to that. Bottoms up. Oh, my name is the one. Some people call me the funk. Here's a toast to the boogie. Said my name is the one. Some people call me the funk. I'll toast to that. When I find a vacant booty, I'll move right in on the rump. Move in right on the rump. I'm like a camel, double humping to please. I'm up to my hump in my funk. Here's a toast to the boogie. I got jam in my knees, and I'm ready to spread all around the world for the funk.
I am Sir Nose, devoid of funk. I will never dance. Prepare to meet your end, star child. For a tail is nothing but a long booty. And this is a tail that I win in the end. And I have pinned the tail on the funky. And you shall dwell in a maze of the mew forever, star child. Oh mew mo, oh donkey puss, star child. Ha ha, humdrum, tweedledee-dum, star child. I have made a jackass out of the funk. Ha 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 ha. Oh mew mo, oh donkey puss. I, Sir Nose devoid of funk, shall never dance. Yo ho, yourself, star child. Where's your flashlight? Where's your bob gun? Where's the doctor, star child? Better tell him to come and make me a house call, star child. Ha! Oh mew mo, oh ducky puss.
If you remember, Star Child makes this statement, which we know George Clinton, aka Dr. Funkenstein, was singing both roles, right? Star Child makes this statement. He says, my name is the one. Some people call me the funk. But he says, my name is the one, right? Then in another record, he said, I am the Mothership Connection. You get it? I am, and I'm the connection between you making it up in the heavens. I'm that connection. Keep this in mind, okay? Sir Nose, devoid of funk, is supposed to be Satan. Now, he's supposed to be Satan because this is how he designed this character. That's why he gave him such a long nose. As I said before, the only person in that we know of, as far as characters and cartoons, Pinocchio had a long nose. Why did he have a long nose? Because he's a liar. He lied so much that his nose just kept growing. Well, here you got Sir Nose showing up on the scene with a nose this long like Pinocchio. They're trying to tell you, oh, he's the father of lies. He's a liar. So this is being Satan here. Now, I brought this up because I want you to think about the comic book, right? And the storyline that they did. When Sir Nose and Star Child were about to battle, what happens? Sir Nose has a plan. What I'm gonna do is when I drop the letter J, that's gonna be a signal for me to make my move against Star Child. Wow, are you hearing it? It's time for me to beat Star Child. Isn't that interesting? The letter J. Why the letter J? Because we know that in history, the letter J came at a certain time. And when it came, people were calling the Messiah the false name Jesus, which starts with the letter J. So obviously George Clinton knows what's going on with this whole thing. Interesting, huh? He knew that Satan's plan, one of his greatest weapons, was to drop the letter J. Interesting, huh?
The lyrics from Theme from the Black Hole are yet again further proof that this group is just overly sexualized and everything is about sex, sex, sex. And we're trying to figure out why the younger generations are just so gone and out of their minds as it relates to these things, where this stuff has been programmed into them and is being passed from generation to generation. The lyrics to this song talks about, and when I can find a vacant booty, it says, I move right in on the rump. Move in on the rump. You see, I'm like a camel, double humping to please. I am up to my hump in my funk. So again, these are the lyrics that are being put out there. And you have people singing them. Their children are around. They're listening to this stuff. And as they listen, this stuff is being played in. And you're trying to figure out why children today have such filthy mouths. That's because they are listening to filthy music, and their parents have listened to filthy music, and it's being passed down from one generation to the next. And so therefore this world is just crazy, out of control with mind filth that has been played in through music.
In the thing from the Black Hole, Sir Nose comes back on the scene, and he's like, yeah, I'm winning this thing. I told you I was gonna come back. Yeah, you won the first battle when you first came to the earth, Star Child, but the second one, I'm gonna win this, right? See, that's what George Clinton and them believe, right? And then he says in the song, he says, I will never dance. And then he tells Star Child, he says, prepare to meet your end, Star Child. And then he says, a tail is nothing more than a long booty. I'm gonna pin this tail on the funky, you know? And so he goes on with this whole thing, calling the Star Child or the Messiah a mule mole or donkey puss. This is what he has in his song. Mocking the Father and the Messiah like this. And then he says, where's your flashlight? Where's your bop gun, huh? Where's your Ruach HaKodesh? Where is it, huh? Do you see this crazy stuff, huh? And then he says, where's the doctor? Who is the doctor? Dr. Funkenstein. See, Dr. Funkenstein is supposed to be the father. That's why on one of his album covers, he shows him sitting on the throne. What is he holding on the throne? He's holding on to a bop gun and a flashlight, right? Why? Because he's trying to show you Dr. Funkenstein is the father sitting on the throne, and he's going to send his son to the earth, the Star Child, and he's going to give him the bop gun and flashlight to do what? Defeat Sir Nose the Void-Funk. That's what it's about, right? But guess what? This is a tale where Sir Nose went in the end, right? Huh? And so he goes on with this rant where he just, at the end of the song, where he's just saying, oh, donkey puss, oh, mew, mo, oh, all these, the stuff that he's calling him. You're going to pin the tail on the funky and all of this stuff. Is a total disgrace to the Messiah, to his word, to the Father in heaven, even to his prayer. You saw how he changed the prayer around, you know, just change it around. Thou makest me to sell drugs. You know, listen to the stuff, how he changed the word around. This is what he was planning to do in the first place. People have asked us, why are we doing documentaries about some of the greatest rhythm and blues groups that have been out, you know, artists that have been out, like Prince and Earth, Wind & Fire and Parliament Funkadelic. And It's because Satan is using these groups to get Yah's people. Okay? You wonder why we don't do one on rock and roll? They already did one called They Sold Their Soul for Rock and Roll, right? And why would I do one on rock and roll when I know you don't listen to rock and roll, right? Most of you don't listen to rock and roll. Most of you were into Earth, Wind & Fire, Prince, and Parliament, Funkadelic, and some of these other artists, right? This is what you're into. And Yah is trying to separate some of you from some of this stuff. Some of you still have their albums in your homes. And then we wonder why the curses and things are still coming upon us even after we come into the truth. Because we still endure some of this crazy stuff. Some of us still listen to some of this crazy stuff. So, I pray that your ears will become open and that you will see how Satan's musical prophets, how Satan has musical prophets, and that he's using these prophets to push these wicked agendas, these wicked lyrics to cause you to do what? Blaspheme the Father. And disrespect him.
Parliament Funkadelic has captivated the entire world with their songs and has caused millions to disrespect our Heavenly Father and His Son, the Messiah. They have caused people to call the Most High stupid and His Messiah a jackass. Their subliminal and hidden messages have fooled millions. This is why they are listed among Satan's musical prophets. Join us next time as we show how Michael Jackson sold his soul to become one of Satan's musical prophets.